Hello, it's Movie Rewinds here. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care.
Have you ever seen such a big crab? These two must not have seen it anyway. Rick thought it was because he was hungry and dizzy that he saw a vision. But the next thing he knew, the crab had cooked itself. It also thoughtfully removed the delicious crab pincers, thus exposing the firm crab meat. This scene makes people's mouths water. They hug the giant crab pincers and gobble them up. Scientist Rick invented a time machine. However, instead of believing him, the public laughed at him. In order to prove his parallel world theory to the world, Rick took his assistant Holly to the field to test the time machine. On the way, they met Will, the guide. The three of them followed the machine's guides to a century-old cave. Suddenly there was an earthquake around them and the time machine burst. Then the three of them fell into a time tunnel. They wake up and find themselves in an unknown world. Underneath their feet was a yellow sand. They looked away and saw three ancient apes and monkeys. Will, excited, ran over to them. He took out a lighter and showed it off to the apes. He scared off the other two apes, but there was still one ape hiding in the corner, shivering. So Holly went to him and talked to him. They both introduced themselves to each other. Rick was happy to see this scene. He also wanted to try to communicate. However, he annoyed the ape. The group chased him and fell under the trap. The four of them had just landed and were hanging in the air by weird vines. So Rick made them hold hands, and so the three of them and an ape were swinging in the air. Suddenly, a Tyrannosaurus Rex appeared next to them. It opened its mouth wide and bit off the vine man. Everyone fell to the ground and then got up and ran out. The little ape ran the fastest, but when the three of them were halfway there, Will suddenly felt that in this situation, he should film the scene and post it on the internet. The Tyrannosaurus soon caught up with them. The three of them ran across a log bridge. The Tyrannosaurus looked at the thin bridge, so it was going to let the prey go. Rick kept taunting him, saying that the T-Rex head was as small as a walnut. The Tyrannosaurus felt insulted by the intelligence and did not want to leave. It turned around and came charging back. Then it jumped across the canyon and ran after them desperately. The group hid in a cave. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was too big to get in, so it spat all over them in a fury. Then the three of them went into the cave and prepared to rest here for the night. Rick talked to Will about Tyrannosaurus Rex. He said that Tyrannosaurus Rex was an animal with a brain as small as a walnut. As soon as they finished talking, a huge package fell from the sky. Rick opened it and found a huge walnut. It turned out to be a vengeful Tyrannosaurus. Rick and his from today officially become enemies. The next day, everyone was worried because there was no food to eat. At that moment, a white light suddenly flashed. Rick rushed to the entrance of the cave. Something outside the cave seemed to be calling him. He ran like crazy to an altar. Holly and Will followed him curiously. Suddenly, a group of unattractive aliens surrounded them. In the nick of time, Rick noticed that Holly was holding something that reflected the sun's rays. After he slightly adjusted the angle of the object, the light and the surrounding statues formed a triangle area. Soon, a portal suddenly appeared in front of them. The three of them immediately ducked into the door. They found that it was a parallel space inside. There was a unique alien, Red, lying on the ground. It turned out that Red had summoned Rick to this place. Red said it had met a very bad clan member. It was going to use Rick's time machine to activate the crystal. Then it was going to use the energy crystal to bring an army of aliens to conquer Earth. Red needed Rick to help him find the time machine and give it to him so he could save the Earth. So Rick and the others embarked on a journey to find the time machine. They came to a desert full of modern goods. The man threw a stone. Then an ice cream truck fell from the sky. The clerk inside the car was very confused. Tyrannosaurus Rexes came out from the side and tried to grab the ice cream truck. It turns out that the world they live in is a parallel world of time and space disruption. Then Rick started to say some bad words again. He said that the two Tyrannosaurus Rexes would definitely fight. He was waiting to see what would happen. However, the two Tyrannosaurus Rexes looked at each other and laughed, then turned their heads to Rick. The next second they came at him. A few people scattered and fled. I don't know why the Tyrannosaurus kept chasing Rick. Rick was still struggling unnecessarily. He soon got the Tyrannosaurus bite, but it broke free and fell off. Then Rick was surrounded by two more dinosaurs. He found a tank of liquid nitrogen at the critical moment, so he rushed towards Holly with the tank of liquid nitrogen in his arms. Holly and Will started the rock thrower next to him. Rick puts the liquid nitrogen on the pitcher, and then turns the pitcher switch on the Tyrannosaurus. The liquid nitrogen is eaten by the dinosaur and expands rapidly inside it, freezing it into an ice sculpture. Then the dinosaur was blown up by the liquid nitrogen. His lost time machine also fell to the ground, but the next moment a pterodactyl took the time machine with it. At night, several people were resting around the campfire. Rick got excited and played the piano. At that moment, a small mosquito flew in and bit him on the neck. After a short while, Rick became very pale. A few people looked stunned. Rick suddenly felt a little sleepy, and then slowly felt weak and fell to the ground. The next day, Rick woke up. Luckily, Rick's physical quality is good, so he only suffered some external injuries. He did not feel the slightest physical abnormality. The group chased the time machine and climbed to a volcanic crater. They found the nest of pterosaurs. Many dinosaur eggs were incubating in a hot environment. The time machine was in the middle of the dinosaur eggs. Rick wanted to call someone to get the time machine, but they all started to pretend to sleep, so Rick had to walk over and get the time machine himself. He carefully walked up to the time machine, but the music stopped playing. He turned around and found that all the dinosaur eggs started to break. One after another dinosaur hatched out. Rick rushed to sing them to sleep. He didn't expect this solution to work. They got the time machine and were happy to finally go home. So the two of them lay on the beach, enjoying their last day in this world. A giant crab brings them a meal. At that moment, Holly went into the portal alone, with the time machine in her arms. She arrives in a cave and finds a hologram. It was the same bad alien that the alien was talking about. But what it told Holly was the opposite of what Red had said. Red was planning to use the time machine to invade Earth and trick them. When Holly learned the truth, she wanted to go out and tell the other two people. But the next thing she knew, the aliens had captured her. Rick found out Holly had been captured and went to the cave. The two of them went in disguised as aliens. They saw Holly in a cage, so Rick rips off the disguise and climbs up and rescues her. That's when Red arrived in front of the group. It has used the time machine to activate the crystal and enslave its people. He also called the Tyrannosaurus Rex to him. Rick decides to let Holly and will go first, and he stays behind to fight the Tyrannosaurus. He lit a firework stick, but it was a poor quality product. He couldn't do anything about it, so he looked to the stick next to him. Rick takes the pole vault with a determined strike. He leaps up and kicks the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the air, but the next second, he was eaten by the Tyrannosaurus Rex in his mouth. The Tyrannosaurus Rex left satisfied with his meal. As soon as the Tyrannosaurus Rex left, the ugly aliens surrounded him. The two men and they tried their best to resist, but there were too many aliens. Just when they were caught and couldn't move, Rick appeared on the Tyrannosaurus Rex. At Rick's command, the Tyrannosaurus Rex started to attack here. He soon defeated all the aliens. It turns out that Rick was swallowed by the Tyrannosaurus Rex and then jumped around in his stomach like crazy. He found that the Tyrannosaurus Rex intestines were blocked, so Rick helped him unblock them. Finally, he was expelled from the body of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. After being cured of constipation, the Tyrannosaurus Rex was in a very good mood, so it decided to help Rick once. They entered the portal and arrived in front of Red. The culprit, Red, has activated the portal to Earth. Rick immediately rushed up and pounced on it and punched it twice in the face. A crystal fell out and shattered on the ground. The portal was about to close, so Rick rushed to pull Holly away, but Will wanted to stay here because he found out that this ape is the leader of the original tribe, so Will plan to live with him in the future. Finally, Rick and Holly jumped out of the portal together and returned to the real world and lived a happy life. And Will returned to the tribe with the ape on his back and lived a life that was admired by all. The whole movie has a lot of imaginative scenes from the beginning to the end. It constitutes a lot of strange and funny scenes.
Make sure subscribe our channel for more videos, and thanks for watching.